side casting this game with me, as he did play this game with me as well. 13, what's going on, man?
Achaia, how you doing, man? I'm glad to be here as always.
Absolutely. We are going to get this game underway right now. We, of course, are playing as our main races. 13 is playing as the red Protoss, and I am playing as the blue Zerg. Here we are down on the bottom two bases. And up at the top, we have Kosss as the purple Protoss, and his ally is going to be the light blue Terran. This is Bench over here. And now, if you have not seen this map yet before, this is, of course, another 4-player map, and there are a couple of interesting mechanics on it. One mechanic is that there is a destructible rock entrance in the back of 2 of the bases. So not everybody has these. There's one base in the top left that does and one base in the bottom right that does. The bases in the top right and the lower left do not have these. So basically only one person on each team is going to be vulnerable to those surprise attacks from those destructible rocks. But then, of course, in the middle we do have 2 Xel'Naga watchtowers, which are very exposed. They're basically right in the middle of the map where most of the ground traffic goes through. And there's a small ramp leading up to the high ground here, which allows you to take control of these. And then near those Xel'Naga watchtowers, you do have a gold high yield expansion up at the top and the bottom of those areas, which of course are very difficult to hold, especially if your enemies do have control of these Xel'Naga watchtowers, because they do give you vision of those bases. But anyways, getting this game underway here, 13, what is it that you're basically trying to do in this game right now?
Well, just a real quick point I wanted to make, Achaia, with those destructible rock entrances in 2 of the bases. Some of you might be thinking that that makes the game just a little bit unbalanced, but you'll notice that outside of those destructible rocks is basically a second natural for whoever is holding that base. So there is a disadvantage with that second exit, but also an advantage with a second expansion.
Yeah, absolutely. That does give you another quick access to an expansion without having to go to the mineral for the high yield bases, because of course the high yield minerals in the middle of the map here are very open. There's not a ramp or choke or anything like that blocking to let you defend it easier. So it is very, very difficult to hold, especially in the mid to late game, because there's a lot of army units on the map, and of course everybody's trying to get control of the map. So that is something that is very, very difficult to hold on to. And those expansions in the back through those destructible rocks are much easier to defend, because once again they do have another ramp leading out to the rest of the map, which of course is easier defended than basically an open entrance to the front. So
Yeah, that's right. I guess back to your first question, what am I doing in this game right now? I'm just doing my standard opening right now. I've got a cybernetics building as well as 2 gateways. I'm probably going to try to go for fast warp gates. That's kind of my typical opening. And from there, I'm not really sure what I do. I don't remember, but I guess I'll have to scout to see before I decide what I'm going to do at that point.
yeah, fast warp gates are definitely something that I've seen you do a lot of, and of course they are very useful because they allow you to warp in units anywhere that you have pylon power on the map, and of course they actually do give you a little bit of a bonus as far as the amount of time it takes for producing units. Another quick thing I did want to mention is it looks like the purple Protoss player Kosss has actually done a hard wall off at his base, unless I'm not sure if that Zealot, it's hard to tell with the way this terrain looks right next to this building, but it looks like he may have a hard wall off with these gateways and pylons at the front of his base. So if that is indeed what's going on, that is actually kind of unique, because as you notice with 13's base, he does have a small entrance that allows him to get basically 1 stalker or 1 zealot through that area, so it's easy to defend, but he can also still get units in and out of that base, so he's not completely blocked off from moving around.
Yeah, like you said, I'm not sure if he can squeeze his out through that opening or not, but if he can't, he's going to be at a huge disadvantage. If we attack his partner, the Teal Terran, he's not going to be able to get out to help him.
Right, and it does look like he has an early robotics facility going up, so he obviously is aware that there is a Zerg player on our team, since he was able to see that I play as Zerg in the loading screens. So he is aware that we do have a Zerg player, and he is probably trying to get those immortals so that he can hard counter if I go fast roaches, which I do have a roach warren, but at this point only a few roaches on the map, and of course at this point I have not committed very heavily to a hardcore roach build, although in the production menu you can see that I do have a couple more building right now. Also, I wanted to note that both you and the other purple Protoss player, Kosss, are both researching Warpgate at this point, although it looks like your Warpgate research has just finished and his is only about 50% done.
Yeah, like I said, I love to get that early warp gate. It increases your production as well as it gives you just a little bit more, flexibility on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like I am also moving in the back of Koss's base here, trying to get some Zerglings and Roaches inside through these destructible rocks right now. He does have a pylon back there to spot us, so his Zealots are going to move into position to defend, but at this point he does not have enough units to defend there. These Zerglings going to get a quick surround, and then these Roaches coming in to clean these Zealots up pretty quickly here. So this could be a bad place for Kosss here very, very quickly if he is not able to get something to hold this off right now, as it does not look like he has anything other than basically one Immortal in his probes, although his ally is bringing over some Marines and some Marauders to help with defending his base right now. And this Immortal's almost lost all of his shields. These Zerglings coming out are going to focus fire down that Immortal, and the probes getting a surround on the Roach, as that Immortal is able to take down most of the Roaches pretty much by himself, and one last Roach remains standing, and he is taken down by the combined fire of the Marines and the Marauders. And it looks like a couple Hellions coming out for bench as well here. So 13 at this point. I did notice that you have already researched Blink, and you are also getting the Zealot speed upgrade, so you are going a very heavy tech build right now against these players. What exactly is your plan with using those upgrades for your infantry units at this point?
Yeah, using Stalkers is something that I'm trying to do a little bit more often now, especially since Sentries have been nerfed a bit in the latest patch. I love to use Blink. I'm trying to get good at it. I'm still a little bit of a noob when it comes to that strategy, but it's something that I've been practicing quite a bit, and I think I'm going to go for that strategy. Just use the flexibility of the Blink ability to jump up and down their ramps, and hopefully I'll be successful with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, just a quick note here, I have managed to sneak some more Zerglings into the Protoss player Koss's base and took out a decent amount of his probes. You can see on the units overlay here that Kosss only has 17 probes, which is a little bit low compared to your 27. He has 10 less probes than you do right now. And of course, I've got 20 drones, and the Terran player bench does have 21 SCVs. So he's not that far behind us, but you at this point do have the biggest economic lead. And if we look at the income tab, you can see that you have a lot of gas coming in as well as a lot of minerals. Although it does look like the Terran player bench is keeping up with you, of course, because of the use of those mules, which do return a much, much larger amount of minerals for every trip.
Yeah, definitely. I've got basically that high amount of gas at this point because I am trying to produce such a large amount of Stalkers. And, they're not a super gas-heavy unit, but when you got that many, you need a pretty good amount of gas.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like both you and I are going for our expansions at this point. My hatchery is just finished, getting some drones out there right now, and your Nexus is coming up on just about halfway done. And at this point, neither Kosss nor Bench has expanded. So if they want to be able to respond to these expansions from us, they're going to either need to expand themselves or do a hit to put us back here at this point, because